Hey there. Have you ever woken up feeling like the day's already got the jump on you? Maybe your back's stiff, your energy's nowhere to be found, or you're just dragging through that first cup of coffee, wondering why it's so hard to get going. If that sounds like you, you're not alone. Mornings can be tricky after 60, and it's easy to slip into habits that make things tougher than they need to be. But here's the thing. How you start your day can set the tone for everything else, and little missteps might be quietly chipping away at your health and your shot at a long, vibrant life. I mean, think about Betty White. She made it to 99, sharp and smiling, and it wasn't just luck. She knew a thing or two about dodging the pitfalls that trip so many of us up. Today, we're diving into 5 morning mistakes Betty White avoided to live that incredible life, and how you can steer clear of them too. We're talking simple, everyday stuff. No fancy gadgets or big overhauls, just practical moves to kick your day off right and keep you feeling strong, healthy, and ready for anything. Whether you're aiming to stick around for your grandkids or just want to enjoy your golden years to the fullest, these tips are for you. So, let's get started and see how a little tweak here and there can add up to a whole lot more life. First up, there's something Betty seemed to sidestep that so many of us fall into. Skipping breakfast, or worse, grabbing something that's more sugar than substance. You've probably heard that breakfast is the most important meal, but after 60, it's not just about filling your stomach, it's about fueling your body right. Betty was known for keeping things simple and smart, and she didn't let her mornings turn into a candy bar free-for-all. See, when you skip that first meal or load up on pastries, your blood sugar spikes and crashes, leaving you foggy and tired by 10 a.m. Not exactly the recipe for a long life, right? Instead, try this. Keep it easy but solid. Maybe some oatmeal with a handful of berries, or a piece of toast with peanut butter. My friend Joan swore she'd never eat breakfast. She'd just sip coffee and go. But when she started having a small bowl of yogurt with fruit, she told me, "I don't know why I waited so long. I feel like I've got my mornings back." It's not about forcing down a feast. It's about giving yourself a steady start. Betty knew that, and it's a habit worth borrowing. Now, flowing right from that idea of starting smart, there's another morning trap Betty dodged: staying glued to the couch or bed too long. You know how it goes. Maybe you wake up, check your phone, and suddenly it's an hour later, and you haven't moved a muscle. Betty didn't let that slow her down, and it's a big clue to how she kept going strong all those years. Let's unpack that next, because it's all about getting your body in gear without wearing yourself out. So you've got breakfast sorted, and you're moving a little more. 2 smart moves Betty White leaned on to keep her mornings working for her, not against her. But there's another trap she steered clear of that can really throw your day and your health off track: guzzling coffee like it's a race. Now, don't get me wrong. Betty loved her coffee, who doesn't? But she didn't overdo it first thing. After 60, it's tempting to chug a big mug to shake off that groggy feeling. But too much caffeine too fast can leave you jittery, dehydrated, and crashing by noon. That's not the way to a long, healthy life. It's more like a roller coaster your body doesn't need. Instead, try sipping it slow. Maybe half a cup with breakfast, then a little more later if you want. Add a glass of water alongside it to keep things balanced. My buddy Tom used to down 3 cups before 9 a.m., and he'd be wired then wiped out. He switched to 1 slow cup with water, and he told me, "I'm not bouncing off the walls anymore. I actually feel good." Betty kept it steady, and that's a trick worth picking up. Now, flowing right from that idea of keeping things balanced, there's another morning habit Betty dodged that can sneak up on you: ignoring your body's signals. You know how it is. Maybe your knees creak a little, or your back's complaining, but you push through anyway because there's stuff to do. Betty didn't play that game. She listened and adjusted. After 60, those aches aren't just noise. They're your body saying, "Hey, let's tweak this." Shoving them aside can lead to bigger problems down the road, cutting into that long life you're after. So try this. When you wake up, take a minute to check in. Feeling stiff? Do a gentle stretch. Maybe roll your shoulders or touch your toes. Tired? Sit a bit longer before jumping into chores. I started doing this after hobbling around one morning, and just 5 minutes of stretching made me feel 10 years younger. Betty stayed active into her 90s because she didn't bulldoze through warning signs. She worked with them. It's not about coddling yourself. It's about setting up your day and your health to last. Both of these, easing up on the coffee rush and listening to your body, keep your mornings smooth and your energy steady. They're small shifts, but they stack up big over time, just like they did for Betty. Now, there's one more mistake she avoided that ties it all together, especially when you're tempted to let the day run you, instead of the other way around. So, you're sipping your coffee smart, tuning into your body's cues. Betty White's morning playbook is really coming together here. But there's one last mistake she sidestepped that can trip you up if you're not careful. Letting stress hijack your start. You know how it goes. Maybe you wake up, flip on the news, and suddenly you're fretting about the world. Or you're already running through a mile-long to-do list before your feet hit the floor. Betty didn't let that chaos take over. She kept her mornings calm and in her control. After 60, stress isn't just a mood killer. It wears you down, messes with your heart, and cuts into that long, healthy life you're aiming for. Instead of diving into the frenzy, give yourself a quiet kickoff. Try this. Before you do anything else, take 5 deep breaths, nice and slow. Or step outside for a minute and feel the air. I used to wake up worrying about bills, and it'd ruin my whole day. Now, I sit by the window with my tea for 10 minutes, and it's like I've hit reset. Betty stayed golden because she didn't let stress steal her mornings, and you don't have to either. Now, let's pull this all together, because you've got everything you need to start your day like Betty did. A solid breakfast fuels you up. Moving early keeps you loose. Coffee in moderation keeps you steady. Listening to your body keeps you strong. And dodging that stress keeps you sane. That's how she hit 99 with a smile. Small, smart choices that added up to a big, beautiful life. You can do this too. No big leaps, just little tweaks that fit right into your routine. Maybe tomorrow, you swap that donut for some eggs, or you stretch while the kettle's on. These aren't rules. They're tools to help you feel good and stick around for the stuff that matters, whether it's dancing at a grandkid's wedding or just enjoying your coffee on the porch. You don't have to stumble through mornings feeling off. Betty showed us there's a better way, and it's right at your fingertips. Give one of these a shot and see how it feels. I'd love to hear what works for you. Drop a comment and tell me your morning trick, or if you've got a Betty White story that inspires you. We're all in this together, making every day count. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. It helps more folks find these ideas. And hit subscribe so you don't miss out on feeling your best. You've got years ahead to live big, so let's start them right. Here's to mornings that keep you going strong. See you next time.